Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Wednesday the 18th of February. This is Kim Watson speaking for Easy Trader. Okay, looking at the euro dollar first, and once again we remain in that very tight range that we're sitting in for the euro. Managed a reasonably positive update yesterday, but until we get a resolution to the Greek situation, I think it's very difficult to see the euro going anywhere too much. Of course, the rumour mill and the rhetoric may continue, and we may see some volatility run and get some decent moves out of the market. So there's certainly some trading to be done. The more it sits around where it is, bearing in mind it's taken a long time to get any resolution here, the more I'm thinking that perhaps if we see a positive outcome, or any positive outcome, so long as Greece doesn't drop out of the euro, I think we'll see the euro rally at some point. So there is that potential risk now in terms of when you're in short positions that we could see it rally. Of course, that could be a way off, so we've got to take the position as is, but need to make sure we ensure that proper stops are placed, because the rally could be quite snap happy. Likewise, any sell-off could be quite strong and very fast, and we may see stops missed, so or slip. Certainly, it's almost inevitable. So something to bear in mind when trading the euro dollar at the moment. So as we push up, then at the moment we're in this sort of little bullish flaggy sort of pattern on the 60 minutes. Maybe it's more of a triangle sitting there at the moment. It's sitting into the daily pivot. No clear direction in terms of where it wants to go from here. I mean, particularly when you're looking at what's happening on the sort of end of day basis. So really all I can be looking for is maybe drawing this trend line a little bit closer to the price here, and looking at some sort of somewhere between these areas, maybe looking for the break of the 50, looking for the short side and below the daily pivot. If we start moving above this upper trend line I've drawn on here, be looking for yesterday's highs and then the previous highs from there, which were running into the monthly pivot above us. So at the moment, very difficult to really assess what's going on there. There are meetings today again, and we may see some more comments come out. So as I say, there's always risk either way with the euro at the moment. It's not clear cut. Looking at the pound dollar, I'd like to say this was a bit more clear cut, because this shouldn't be necessarily the same risk. Now we've seen again yesterday it rallied for quite a part of the morning and then sold off throughout the whole afternoon. So what it gave with one hand, it took back with the other. It's struggling at the moment. If it breaks the lows of yesterday, well, I think we've broken this sort of uptime trend. Let's just see if I can draw on here. There's a bit of a trend going across the lows here. If we start breaking through that, well, we could step through it and not actually cause too much of a downside sell. So it's not an easy trend line where you can just say, well, I'm still on the break of it. But if we start breaking below it, more definitely, particularly between below yesterday's lows, perhaps then we could see a bigger correction of this move to the downside. Now we've got news coming out today. The jobs data is the big figure really out for this morning, which may, if we see earnings pick up, give us a decent bit of a rally on cable. However, if they're weak for any reason, likewise we could see it sell. The Bank of England's vote is expected, and it's expected to be unanimous, so there's probably little in the way of surprises in that report. So, and also we had the inflation report last week, which there was a lot of detail in, so I'm not expecting major moves from the ECB report, the Bank of England report, but the jobs report could be the mover. Okay, not much else on cable there. 60 minutes really just showing this very tight range that we're sitting in. Again, maybe looking, it's a bit more difficult. It's a bit of a descending channel really we're sitting in on at the moment, so it's not necessarily so easy to draw. If I can get one of those lines, that'd be good. And just pop it down there. So we see it sitting in this sort of descending channel. Could just run down to the bottom, towards the bottom of the channel, the lows here, and find some support. There's a 200 moving average, which may help in that respect. But I think we'll see a lot, and the decision will be made from the news earlier this morning in terms of its direction, maybe for the morning at least. Okay, dollar yen. Okay, no real shock on here. When we look at the big picture here, we're just sort of sitting in this relatively tight range. Yesterday we managed a good up day. I've still got this trend line sitting across the lows here. Really could be drawing the one across the top there as well on the dailies. I think we'll end up sitting pretty much range bound here. Short term here, well, we sold off most for quite a part yesterday afternoon. Last few days rather. Yesterday we saw the sort of a bit of a rally going on. It's just running up to its upper daily bands here. If it can break the top of that, well, we could see the prior highs reached again. Likewise, any sort of signs of some strength. If we get a push of the lows here, maybe we'll see a sell-off back down towards the monthly pivot and yesterday's lows again. But nothing really very clear on that at the moment. And finally, the Aussie dollar. Gain yesterday, it ended up holding on a bit better to slight gains. It ended up really as a doji there, but it's broken out of that range this morning and pushed up on some positive figures coming through. It's very much trying at the moment. It's just run into it back into that daily 21, which it seems to be finding a bit of resistance at that point. So we just got to watch this morning. It could just be selling off. It's got its daily pivot below us, so there's reasons to be short possibly on the Aussie dollar at the moment. I'm just looking. It's sort of broken this sort of trendy sort of line here. Quite weak looking towards it's been pushing on these highs, so maybe we have a bit more of a correction here, and it'll follow the suit of the euro, which is down this morning, and as I say, come down towards its daily pivot. Okay, that's it for me. Other news out. Well, we've got the FMC minutes coming out this evening at 7 o'clock. It's unlikely we'll see any surprises in that. If there's anything changing its intent to raise interest rates, it could, or guidance there, it could see a movement, but I would expect it to be quite volatile around the release of it, and possibly not a lot of change after it. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you have a great one. Bye for now.